feel like a sense of obligation and responsibility and duty of care to those two that will never end.
We are Venom! We are Venom!
Well, I've loved every moment of Eddie and Venom, and I was really fond of them. I'd play them at any time, because there's a special place that exists within me to want to operate those two characters. Wherever you put them, in whatever capacity, I feel like a sense of obligation and responsibility and duty of care to those two that will never end. So I'll always be, with them and a bastion of support for them, if anybody cares for my opinion. But yeah, we have a trilogy deal, and we had to establish Venom and Eddie, and the time has run out. That's it's the last dance.
Yeah, in many ways it is. It's a love story. It's a story of friendship and the lengths you'll go to for the person you love. For sure. Well, it is one of the stories that we talked about telling.
But we deal with fathers and sons anyway, a lot through the canon. But the concept of looking after, that unless I've misunderstood what you just said.
No, we talked about Dylan Brock, which is the son
of... Oh, well, that's Eddie.
Yeah,
no, that's a different story. I thought the concept of a baby symbiote would be quite interesting. That's
I love it. Let's do it.
But yeah, the Dylan Brock is a different story.
Yeah.
Fatherhood and then yes, rich materials.
But their domesticity, we visited that in Venom 2, and I do think that I found it quite hilarious, the idea of those two trying to live together in a small apartment.
Yeah.
Not least with when he stood up and his head would go through the ceiling, and you'd have to give him that schnuggy.
Yes, his chew toy, schnuggy.
Yeah.
Oh, bless. They're good fun, aren't they? They're like a married couple.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Given what happens in the story, I think that there are, there's just so many layers to the antagonists of this story and it's constantly flipping. What you think is an antagonist might end up being, an ally. What you think is, an ally might end up doing something that actually endangers other people. So it's there's always this kind of balance going on with all of the characters, I think, as to what they're sort of trying to achieve. But I think what's really true is that each of them does what they does and pursues what they pursue with a lot of heart, and actually sometimes a lot of empathy and trying to do the right thing, and I think that's what makes it so compelling. Yeah, I feel like the stories are still great and they're still evolving and they're still captivating and the audiences still are really present for it and excited by it and they're really different, and I think that's the key thing, coming onto something like this. It's, what this occupies and the space that Venom occupies is really different, I think, from anything else, and that relationship between Venom and Eddie that is created in large part by Tom and obviously by Kelly is really unique and speaks to friendships, just to this, and that's what I think that's what creates a really emotional end to this, as well as it being a great ride and a lot of fun, is that it's also, we get to explore, possibly for the last time, this relationship between Eddie and Venom. And so for me, it was just a real privilege to be, just to be part of that, happening.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that, superhero movies push all of our imagination boundaries, right? There's an endless opportunity to be creating something wild and wonderful, and whether it's alternate universes or an extension of our universe, or whether it's here on Earth, and it's the extraordinary places that either ordinary people can go to, or that ordinary people get to go, or extraordinary people get to go to the ordinary places, they keep kind of pushing the level of mayhem and madness with it. It feels like you can't put a lid on this sort of free running imaginations behind the creating of those visually, I guess. Yeah.
Totally. Well, who knows?
I feel like that's
we'll
out of
have
the
to-
control of
Yeah.
Strickland and Dr. Payne.
Exactly.
I think that's up to people with even higher pay grades.
You know, they just run these secret facilities
protecting humanity.
out by Area 51. They don't know whether. So we'll see. It definitely was a lot of fun to play these parts. Well, I speak for myself.
No, it was.
a lot of
It
fun?
was. And also, I feel like it was a lot of fun to play them together and feed
Yeah.
off each other and have this kind of yin and yang in this top secret place that, is so secret that it's even more secret than Area 51. And you get to be, exploring, hanging out with aliens, which is pretty magical. So I would definitely be up for doing more, especially if I get to do it with Chiwetel. It's a bit nerve-wracking without.